Hello and welcome to the Capital OTB Stakes Preview. It's a little bit different this weekend. We're going to do two races on Friday. It is Friday the 13th, April 13th. And then we'll have three on Saturday, April 14th. It's Sully Crotty and Mike Callahan as usual. How are you, Mike?
What's going on, Sully? Yes, it's a big weekend completely. I mean, to have two grade ones on a Friday, we absolutely have to talk about those.
Yeah, we have to put those races into the mix, and we'll talk about those first, and then we'll move on to the Saturday's card. So the first race we'll talk about is on Friday. That is April 13th. It's race number 9 at Oaklawn Park. It is the Apple Blossom, a Grade 1 event going a mile and a 16th on the main track. And then we'll move to Keeneland. Race number 9 at Keeneland on Friday afternoon. It is the Maker's Mile on the grass. It is a mile on the grass. Very nice field there. That race is always very competitive. And then on Saturday, April 14th, we'll have two races at Keeneland, and then obviously we will look at the Arkansas Derby. The first race at Keeneland, it is race number 10 at Keeneland. It is a mile and a 16th on the grass. It is the Jenny Wiley. It's a Grade 1 event. And then we'll move to race number 9 at Keeneland. It is the 37th running of the Lexington, a Grade 3 event. Very nice deep field and a mile and a 16th there on the main track. And close it out, of course, with race number 11 at Oaklawn Park. It's the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby for $1 million, going a mile and an eighth on the main track.
All right, but we'll go back to the Apple Blossom on Friday. It's a Grade 1 event, as Sully already alluded to. $700,000 purse, mile and 16th for older fillies and mares. To me, there's one name that sticks out, Unique Bella. We'll touch upon her a little bit later on. We'll go in numerical order, as we always do, though, with number 1, Tiger Moth, Brad Cox, Fernando de la Cruz, 12-1 on the morning line. This horse won 2 back at Sam Houston, very impressively off the pace, beat a nice horse in Actress, also beat a nice horse in Martini Glass, who went on to win impressively at Oaklawn Park next start out, so that should only flatter Tiger Moth. To me, he's going to need a lot of pace. You could potentially see it, though, with Unique Bella, who's always speedy, and then Farrell, who usually likes to go to lead as well. To me, hard to look past Unique Bella, but as far as exotics goes, Tiger Moth's in the equation.
Yeah, I think Tiger Moth is right in the equation with the closing speed. It's like you said, it's going to be tough to beat Unique Bella. We haven't even touched upon the horse yet, and we've talked about her the most. So Tiger Moth is the nice closing horse, I think, with the best chance to catch it, make it interesting. Lost the Martini Glass, as you already said. And then Actress and Familiar Company and Farrell. I didn't think that was a bad effort. Just 11 lengths off. It's just a little too far. I like Brad Cox in this situation as well. Has had a great meet at Oaklawn.
Number 2, Unbridled Mo, Todd Pletcher, Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard. 5-1 on the morning line. This horse, to me, is quite interesting. I didn't have in the mix, but I could see why people like this horse at 5-1. 2 back, was able to win the Double Dog Dare back in April of 2017. Then wasn't seen for a very long time, was gone for about 10 months, reappeared in the Royal Delta down at Gulfstream back in February 19th. Finished an even 4th that day behind Martini Glass, who we already touched upon, coming back and winning. Lewis Bay and Verve's Tail. To me, second off the layoff, should be much more fit. The workouts have been good. I'm just not sure what to think of this horse. Would you have in the equation?
Yeah, I had the horse right in the equation here. I like Ricardo Santana. I like Todd Pletcher. This horse is going to be fighting her way. She's going to fight in this race, and we've seen Unbridled Mo do that throughout her career. I thought against Verve's Tail a couple races back in the Comley, that was not a bad effort, even though on paper it looks like an ideal race. And last time out off the layoff, I think that was just a little bit of a freshening. It ran okay, as you said. So I think second time out, the horse will do a lot better. And Ricardo Santana is riding extremely well down at Oaklawn.
Number 3, Furiously Kissed. 30-1 on the morning line. You're going to get Chris McMahon aboard, a horse that raced on the turf last time down at Gulfstream Park in that optional claiming event. Hasn't won since July of 2017 on the dirt, and that was on a sloppy surface. So to me, there's some question marks here. Does have a couple races at Oaklawn, both of them being second-place performances. To me, it just seems a little bit touch below.
Yeah, if it rains there on Saturday, I think this is definitely a horse to use. This horse seems to like the wet surfaces, and it's coming in. You know, I didn't think it was a bad effort last time out in an optional claim, just stepping way up in class. This horse does have some closing effort, but if I had to pick a closer in this race, obviously I would side with Tiger Moth and possibly Streamline as well. So I just think if it rains, definitely use the horse at a big price.
Number 4, Beach Flower, going off for McLean Robertson, who's 20% so far. It's an under under the radar type trainer in McLean Robinson. He's done quite well down there. 30-1 on the morning line, a horse that finished third last time and an optional claimer here at Oaklawn Park. 0 for 7 as far as wins goes at Oaklawn, but does have 3 times in the money. To me, another one that kind of like the 3 looks a little bit outmatched. We'll be stocking Unique Bella and Farrell, so maybe if this horse works out a trip, possibility for exotics.
Yeah, I just think it's a touch below here. I think there's a little bit better prices. You know, I think Streamline, if you want to go the stalking roll route, or on Bridal Mo, if you want to go the stalking roll route, they're probably better fits for this. Just who the horses have raced against in the quality races. But I think just a touch below. It's going to very impressive mean, as you said, for the training connection. So let's see if this horse is just a little bit more aggressive than we saw last time.
And then the filly, number 5, who needs no introduction, that's Unique Bella, going out for Jerry Hollendorfer. Mike Smith is going to be aboard. This horse has been rock solid. A little bit of a question mark in that Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint when the horse was able to take the lead and then fade that day, but she's come back really, really strong, winning the La Brea against Paradise Woods, going 7 furlongs. And then Jerry decided to stretch her back out. I think her natural speed helps her at 2 turns. I know we talked about it on RAA with Seth, and she was able to validate that, winning very impressively, going the mile and 16th in that 2-turn race against Mopatism and Majestic Heat. Again, we've touched upon it, and I touched upon it in the Breeders' Cup. She has to be the best working horse I've ever seen. Bullet upon bullet upon bullet. First of 56, 106, 102, 110. She's first in everything that she does. To me, the only question you could say for her would be, does she kind of get dueled into defeat with Farrell? Because Farrell wants to go as well.
Yeah, Farrell does want to go, and we'll touch upon Farrell in a minute or two. But, you know, this is obviously the horse to beat in here. She does need no introduction at all. She can sprint, she can route, she can do whatever you want her to. And as you said, the work speak for themselves. The Breeders' Cup sprint, you know, just that's her lowest buyer in her career besides breaking actually losing in her first start. That is her lowest buyer, and it's an 81 behind, and she lost to an absolute, you know, I think the horse was 35-1 in the Breeders' Cup, Bar of Gold, so this horse is just going to be too tough to beat. I think she will eventually duel Farrell to defeat.
Number 6 is Streamline. 10-1 on the morning line, you're going to get Gary Stevens aboard, a horse that ran a little bit of a dud last time in the Zeri, finishing 8th to Martini Glass Actress and Farrell of note, who we're going to touch upon next, and is the number 7. But Streamline before that was pretty good. I know we both had this horse in our mix going into that Grade 2 event last time at Oaklawn. Don't know what went amiss, but this horse is 10 for 11 in the money at Oaklawn, including 3 wins, and also 12 for 13 in the money as far as this distance. So if you're looking for a rock solid exotics try type of horse, Streamline could definitely improve off that last performance.
Yeah, Streamline definitely can improve, and you know, I know we said we both like this horse coming into the race, and I thought that was just not what we were used to seeing last time out, going a mile and a 16th, just getting used to the fast track possibly. First time running on the fast track since January, so again, I think this is a very interesting priced horse, especially if the 5 and the 7 just want to duel each other, and then there's going to be a couple long shots mixed in there. This horse could be a sneaky play at 10-1.
Number 7 is Farrell, going out for Wayne Catalano. Channing Hill is going to be aboard. 6-1 on the morning line. This horse took the lead last time in that Grade 2 event here at Oaklawn. Was able to hold on for third. I didn't think it was a bad effort. Was much improved. I think this horse, and you can kind of see it in the racing line with this horse, needs the lead to have any sort of chance to win in here. Problem is, so does Unique Bella, and she's much more talented than Farrell. So that's where you kind of side with the possibility that she may get dueled in a little bit early.
Yeah, I think she will get dueled in a little bit early. And if I had to pick between the 2 speed horses, I'm picking Unique Bella. I think everybody is. But this Farrell has shown that she can hang in there in a speed duel. And we saw that in November in a Grade 2 event at Churchill Downs. And that was not her best effort, and she still won. So very interesting to see if she'll get out dueled or not by the great Unique Bella.
All right, pick time here in the Grade 1 Apple Blossom.
Unique Bella for me on top. I think she's just going to be too tough to beat. I think Streamline runs huge with Gary Stevens, and I think Pletcher underneath as well for Bridal Mo. I think Farrell is going to run in the money, but I would say my long shot in this race, I also have in second. would be streamlined, and Tiger Moth is a little interesting to me as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's Unique Bella's race to lose. She's the most talented horse in here. See if she can go 2 turns again. I think she can. You know, it's a little bit of a question mark with Farrell, as we touched upon, as sort of how the speed's going to go in there, and if she kind of gets dueled in with Farrell. We'll see, though. She's the most talented in here. Underneath, though, for exotics, I like the 1 for second. Tiger Moth, I think, is going to be having a nice little closing kick. If she can run like she did back at Sam Houston in that Grade 3 Ladies Classic, I think she could fill out a really nice exacta. She's 12-1 on the morning line, so 5-1 exacta for me. And then the 6 Streamline, who you already talked about, 10 for 11 on the money at Oakland, 12 for 13 in the money at the distance. Last time out, ran a little bit of a dud. You get Gary Stevens back aboard, who's been aboard for the last 3. I think you could see her much improved as well. Saw it 5, 1, 6, and 7. All right, we're going to touch upon the Maker's Mark Mile on Friday at Keeneland. It's good to see a couple Grade 1 events on Friday, like I touched upon.
Yeah, it's great.
We'll see here. Race number 9 on Friday. Take a look at it. Numerical order again. Number 1, Annihilator, Dale Romans, Robbie Alvarado. Winner 2 back and a 2 other than optional claimer down at Gulfstream. Last time out, ran a little bit of a dud. Finished 5th. Showed speed that day. Faltered to finish behind Frostmorn, who we're going to talk about a little bit later on. To me, it just looks a little bit touch below.
Yeah, I think Dale Roman's trying to steal the race again, like he has done in some stakes races throughout the year. In 2017, just take a horse on the lead and play a little catch me if you can at a big price. That's what's going to happen. Robbie Alvarado's up, and he does extremely well on the turf, especially at the Keeneland meet. So we'll see what happens. I agree. I just think it's just a little bit touch below. In the last 3 years, or the last 2 years, Closing Speed has won this race, so I don't think the speed will hang on.
Number 2 is Bally Rocks, going out for Billy Mott. Louise Sides is going to be aboard. A winner 4 back at Belmont in that Grade 3 poker. And then followed it up with back-to-back third-place performances, only beating a half length to Sage Wa, a horse I know you liked coming out of Keeneland that day, and also Heart to Heart, who's going to be the favorite in here. To me, the only question mark, and it's kind of seen on paper, is coming off that November 4th layoff where the horse finished 9th, beaten only 3 lengths in that really tight-knit photo with World Approval, Lancaster Bomber, and a whole bunch just sitting right off of it. To me, can this horse be ready off the bench?
I think this horse is going to run a big race. I don't think can win this race, but just from what we saw last time out, that was not a bad effort against World Approval. There was a lot of horses were tight there coming down to the wire, and World Approval just won. This horse lost by 3 lengths, so that's how close this horse was. It ran a 101 buyer and 2 starts back. I thought that was really impressive at Keeneland. That's just the one thing this horse has going for it. The horse knows it can run huge at Keeneland, especially going the mile distance on the grass.
Number 3 is Forge, going out for Billy Mott, another Billy Mott trainee. Joel Rosario is going to be aboard. Judd Mott owned and bred. 8-1 on the morning line. This horse finished 7th last time in the Grade 2 event down at Fairgrounds against a really nice horse in Synchrony, who's gone on to be a repeat winner down at Fairgrounds, loving it down there. 2 back, though, ran 2nd, beating a half length in the Tampa Bay Grade 3 event. 2 World Approval. And if that horse can run back to that race, getting that 105 buyer, absolutely makes sense in here at a nice price.
I agree, Forge. This horse is really balanced on paper. You're getting a nice price here for this horse. And as you said against Synchrony, I didn't think it was a bad effort at all. Just I thought it was a little overmatched in that Grade 2 event at Fairgrounds. And then at Tampa Bay, I thought the horse had no excuses there. We all said World Approval was vulnerable that day. I remember doing this race at the Stakes preview. Lost by half a length to World Approval. So this is why I think this horse, at 8-1, I agree with you. It's just a little sneaky.
Number 4 is Tower of Texas, Roger Atfield, Jose Lescano. Horse that raced on the dirt last time, and we talked about it in our stakes preview before. It was quite interesting. Ran a really good 3rd. Only beaten 2 3/4 to Economic Model, who ended up going over to Dubai on the undercard on Dubai World Cup night. Also Irish Warcry, who we saw come back and finish an even 4th in a nice race. To me, gets back onto the turf. This horse has done well. Predominantly, if you look at this horse, and we've got a chance to see him, likes to run on yielding and soft courses. There's the potential that there's some rain. So if there is some rain in here and you're looking for a horse that likes a little bit of an off surface, Tower of Texas at 12-1 is a nice price.
And as you said, I can't get enough of this horse. This horse is a monster and runs big in every race, it seems like, except for that Woodbine Mile that we were there. So maybe we're just the bad luck charms in person. But ever since that race, this horse has done nothing wrong at all for a 7-year-old trying to hit the $1 million mark, and I think can. If you like a long shot in this play, if you want to play a long shot underneath, Tower of Texas is definitely your play here. Going to come flying late and try to catch some of the speed.
Number 5 is Frostmore, and going on for Christophe Clement. Rod Ortiz Jr. is going to be aboard. 10-1 on the morning line for a horse that's 5 for 8 lifetimes as far as wins goes, including 3 of the last 4. The only blemish was in that Grade 3 Hill Prince against Yoshida and Lucalan, who came back to be one of the favorites down at Fairgrounds on Louisiana Derby Day. Also lost to Bricks and Mortar, but it was only 3/4 of a length. Was off of a little bit of a layoff, reappeared down at Gulfstream back in March in that optional claiming event, was able to come from off the pace, go clear, win that race by a length, stepping up into this Grade 1 event. Looks to be in really good form, one that I would definitely use, especially attracting Rod Ortiz Jr.
Yeah, and Rod Ortiz Jr. is leaving Hoagie, and Hoagie ran huge, and Hoagie's in this race as well. And Hoagie ran huge last time out. We'll touch upon Hoagie, but Rod Ortiz is going to this horse at a nice price, and I like Christophe Clement on the grass. Everybody does. We all know how well he does on the grass. But this horse, just watching that race last time at Gulfstream Park, took a lot of money, went off as a favorite, had a lot of horse left and could have won by a lot more. The race got sped up a little bit. That was partially because of Frostmore. I think this horse is very sneaky at a 10-1 price with Rod Ortiz leaving Hoagie and how impressive Hoagie looked last time out.
3 for 3 at the distance, so if you like those situations, those stats, definitely a lot to like, and Frostmore at a nice price. On to number 6, Heart to Heart, Brian Lynch. Julian Lapierre are going to be team up in here, and 2-1 on the morning line, a horse that won the Grade 1 Gulfstream Park Turf last time out, very impressively taking the lead, as always, and taking them wire to wire, was able to slow down the pace, beat a couple nice horses in Kirilov and High Happy. High Happy came back to win on the undercard of Florida Derby Day very impressively, beating Sadler's Joy and a couple others. To me, there's one scenario, this horse is going to go to the lead and say, catch me if you can. If a couple others go with him, then that makes Heart to Heart vulnerable. If no one else goes with her, it's pretty much her race to win.
Yeah, and Heart to Heart, as you said, I think just the way we saw this horse, as you said, he wants to run the way he wants to run. And Heart to Heart is a horse that reminds me of Wonder Godot. Just needs somewhere to run, needs the legs to get stretched out a little bit. And winning last time with a 102 buyer by a neck, 2-1 price, that was a nice price, but a 2-1 today against a pretty solid field. Don't think the lead is going to be that easy to get like it was at Gulfstream Park last time out. Love watching Heart to Heart run, but I think it's pretty vulnerable here with the amount of speed in the race.
Yeah, if you're a stat guy, 1 for 5 as far as victories goes at Keeneland. Does have those 3 runner-up finishes, but does seem to get caught late here over the Keeneland surface. We'll see what happens on Friday. Number 7 is Mr. Misunderstood, going out for Brad Cox. Florence Roux is going to be aboard 12-1 on the morning line. This horse was rock solid in late 2017, winning 5 in a row, then reappeared in that Grade 3 event down at Fairgrounds, finished second, beaten two Synchrony, who came back to win again in another Grade 2 event. Off the second place performance in the most recent fourth place performance, beaten 2 3/4. I'm not sure if this horse is still in that good of form, and maybe a little bit vulnerable here at 12-1.
Yeah, 12-1 is a nice price, and I think we may have jinxed this horse. This horse was 9 for 9 on the turf, or 8 for 8, whatever the horse was, and then lost again. So, this horse obviously loves to run on the turf. I think Keeneland's just a tough spot to run on the grass your first time, especially in a stakes race of this caliber. So, I think we'll be aggressive. This horse will be a little bit more aggressive, like we saw last time out. Just need a little bit more of a closing kick last time. You're going to get a nice price. This horse loves the grass, so you get Florent Giroux up as well. He's on fire down at Keeneland. So if you like the price, you like the closing speed, and the last 2 starts, as I said, were closing speed last 2 winners were closing speed horses. This might not be a bad play.
On to the 2 West Coast shippers, the number 8 being Next Shares. Going on for Richard Boltis. Corey Nakatani is going to come into town. This horse finished really well with a flourish, beating a half length, coming at the end against Bowie's Hero. Finishing second, get that 102 buyer in the Grade 1, Fred Kilmore. And to me, I thought that was a good performance. That was the day that World Approval was there as the odds-on favorite. Has just been in rock-solid form, a career-best 102 buyer. Makes a lot of sense to come over here and try to take on the East.
Yeah, if this horse runs like it did last time out, I think this is a huge play here. As you said, just has raced against a lot of nice horses, you said. Channelmaker was there, and then Familiar Company and we haven't talked about yet. Pee Wee Reese is a nice horse that runs out west. Ran huge against Richards Boy as well, so this might be a sneaky play with the closing speed. I think the closing speed is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be very interesting. Maker's Mile.
Number 9, going out for Dan Hendricks. Flavian Pratt's going to be aboard. 6-1 on the morning line. Winner 2 back in a Grade 3 Thunder Road. Very impressively beating the likes of Next Share, who we just talked about. To me, it's going to be speed, but the problem is Heart to Heart also has speed as well. If kind of gets into a little bit of a tussle with Heart to Heart, situation may lie where they kind of get each other in trouble in the end. So we'll see what kind of race dynamics Flavian Pratt is able to do in here. But nonetheless, based on buyers alone, this horse definitely fits in here.
Yeah, this horse could run away with this race too if Heart to Heart doesn't get to the lead. This horse is definitely capable of running away with the lead, and we saw that 2 starts back, hanging on in the Thunder Road. Pretty quick fractions that day. The mile distance is definitely the distance this horse wants to go.
Number 10 is Hoagie going off for Mike Maker. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard 8-1 on the morning line. This is just a fun horse. 50 lifetime starts, 19 wins, 13 seconds. So this horse loves to run and run again. Normally this horse sprints. They stretched this horse out last time out to a mile distance down at Gulfstream in that Grade 3 event. Was able to come from off the pace. Beat a nice horse in Galleon Mass, who I know you're high on. Now goes into this Grade 1 event, stretching out again to this mile turf race. I think this horse is quite intriguing, and Jose Ortiz stays, so I think at 8-1 you're going to offer a lot of value.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of value. This horse I think is really sneaky, and this horse could do whatever you want it to do. Can get to the lead. I think it's going to run the exact same race we saw last time out at the mile distance, a nice little closing speed, beat some quality horses. It's just going to have to do it again here at Keeneland. 0 for 5 here at Keeneland, but has run in the money 3 times.
All right, pick time here in the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile.
I have Hoagie on top. I think a repeat performance. I don't think there's any mix-up between Arad and Jose Ortiz. You're going to get a great ride either way. Heart to Heart underneath. I think this horse makes it interesting, but gets caught at the wire. And then I kind of stuck here who I want in the 3rd spot. I decided with Battle Rocks in the 3rd spot, but I think Frostmore is a huge play. That's going to be my long shot in here for Christophe Clement and Arad Ortiz Jr.
I'm going to go with Hoagie. I like this horse. A gutsy horse, just turned 9. Off that stretch-out win last time going the mile distance, gets the mile distance again. I think you're going to see a lot of speed with and also Heart to Heart. If you're looking for a closer in here, there are a couple in here. But I like Hoagie, and Jose Ortiz stays. Going to offer some good value at 8-1 on the morning line. Underneath, Heart to Heart. Makes a lot of sense off that win last time out. It's going to say catch me if you can. 3 seconds in 5 lifetime starts at Keeneland. So I think this horse is coming in very good. Or this horse is coming in very good form. And then also number 3, Forge. I think can repeat that 2-back race to world approval, finishing 2nd, beating a half length, getting that 105 buyer. Last time out was a little bit of a dud, but could definitely improve for Billy Mott and Judd Mott. So we'll see what happens in there. As a little bit, I have a long shot, Tower of Texas, who I know you're high on. This horse is just gutsy. 21 for 29 in the money. I think should be coming late as well if the pace is hot at 12-1 with Jose Lascano aboard. All right, that was our look at Friday's action. 2 Grade 1 events, including the Apple Blossom and the Maker's Mark Mile, who we just talked about. We'll take a look at the Saturday action when we come back, including the Jenny Wiley, the Lexington, and the Arkansas Derby.
Sign up today for Capital OTB's handicapping series and plan your trip to Las Vegas.
Welcome back to the Capital OTB Stakes preview as we are through a couple races so far. Touched upon the Friday action. Nice to see a couple Grade 1 events. We'll talk about Saturday's action, big day down at Oaklawn, and also a big day at Keeneland. And we'll touch upon Keeneland first, starting out with race number 10 on Saturday, the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley, a mile and 16th on the turf. $350,000 purse. We'll go in numerical order with number 1, Cambodia, going out for Tom Proctor. Julian LaPerouse, 6-1 on the morning line. This horse is coming off of a November layoff. Hasn't been seen since the Grade 1 Matriarch. Did finish 4th that day, only beaten 2 1/4. You go back to the wins. I did win a Grade 2 event at Del Mar, 3-back and 4-back. To me, absolute win candidate in here. Just off of the layoff, is this horse going to be ready?
I think this horse is going to be ready. You know, I just too iffy of a price for me to play on top. I think definitely for Tommy Proctor can come in and make a big impact on this, running against familiar company, ran good against Hawksmoor, as you said, and this horse did not run bad at all with Drayden Van Dyke aboard. I think coming to Keeneland is a smart play. This horse likes the distance. Definitely a horse you use in the money because it's running the money every single attempt at the distance.
Number 2 is Lovely Bernadette. 30-1 on the morning line. You're going to get Robbie Alvarado aboard, a winner of 3 of the last 4. Last time out off the layoff, though, was a little bit of a dud. I had come in with a 3-race winning streak and finished 8th that day to 4-star Crook, Proctor's Ledge, and La Cornell, who we'll all touch upon and are in this race. To me, second off the layoff should be more fit, but really needs to improve to get in the likes of these, these horses.
Yeah, I think needs to revert back to that winning streak and just running its own race. Maybe it was a little intimidated last time out, but same company in this race, and I could see the same thing happening, trying to steal a stalking role and just not working out. This horse might play a little catch me if you can.
Number 3 is Off Limits, Chad Brown. Chad Brown has a bunch in here that we'll touch upon. Joel Rosario, 5-1 on the morning line. A winner of 4 of the last 5. Had a 4-race winning streak going into 2018. Off that layoff, finished 5th, only beating a length and a half in that same event down at Tampa Bay against 4-star Crook, Proctor's Ledge, and La Cornell. I think second off the layoff, just like the 2, should be much more fit. And you're getting Chad Brown, who's been absolutely dynamite at Keeneland so far, 6 for 11 as far as wins goes. He has a bunch in here, though, so you got to have to figure out which one's live and which ones aren't.
Yeah, that's the big question here. He's got a bunch in this field, and, you get Joel Rosario up closing on the grass. That's something he's phenomenal at, especially at Keeneland. So this might be a sneaky play at 5-1. I think to just come up short like last time.
Yeah, need some pace in the number 3 Off Limits. On to number 4, Donna Brugia. 4-1 on the morning line. Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard. Was off a little bit of a layoff in that Grade 3 event down at Tampa Bay. Took him wire to wire that day, winning impressively by 4 lengths, getting a 103 buyer. Steps up into this Grade 1 event. Has a couple races, including the Grade 1 Beverly D at Arlington. Faced DeCita that day, only lost by a half a length. This horse has faced the likes of some Grade 1 company, and off that last performance, she's really good.
Yeah, she is really good, and I think this is a huge play here. Don't want to give away anything yet, but I'm going to use this horse a little bit higher up in the mix, and Jose Ortiz aboard is really attractive, and the closing speed as well. I think this is a sneaky trainer as well, and winning 5% of his races, 11% of his races, only 44 starts, which is nice to see. This horse has raced against some solid horses as well, as you said, most notably in DeCita. So I think this is a nice play. You're getting a great value.
Number 5 is Kitten's Roar, Mike Maker. Kendrick Carmouche is going to be aboard, 12-1 on the morning line. This horse won 3 back at Del Mar in a Grade 2 event. The last 2, though, have been subpar efforts. The last one notably finished 4th, beaten 2.5 to Elsa's World and also Ultimate Brat, who we'll talk upon. Second off the layoff, like we talked about with a couple others in here, should improve off of that, but really needs to improve buyers-wise to be a win candidate.
Yeah, this horse does need to improve. The one thing that's got going for it, it's a Ramsey Maker horse, and they really have success at Keeneland fall and spring meets. Just really does need to improve from that last effort. I think moving inside into the middle of the starting stalls, I think that'll help. The horse did win last time. It was in the middle of the gate, so I don't think it likes to be the outside stall. We saw that the last 2 starts. The middle of the gate might be a little interesting, but consistent 90, high 90 buyers.
Number 6 is Belchley, Mark Cassie. 30-1 on the morning line. Brian Hernandez Jr. is going to be aboard. A horse is kind of interesting as a launch out at 30-1. Been racing in Stakes Company over in Great Britain. First time in North America, raced in an optional claimer down at Gulfstream. Was able to come from off the pace, win that race by a head. Got an 87 buyer. The buyer's light, steps up to this Grade 1 company, which is obviously a serious acid test, but Mark Cassie has a lot of confidence off that win in the career North American debut to put this horse in the Grade 1 event.
Yeah, as you said, and Mark Cassie does do extremely well. All these trainers do. They have a huge impact at this Keeneland meet. This horse, I think, will be ready to go, and obviously really high on this horse is the Cassie barn, and turning around in about a month or 2, they're okay, winning 20% of those types of starts, turning around off a month and winning last time out.
Number 7 is Sister Charlie, Chad Brown. Johnny V is going to be aboard 7-2 on the morning line. This horse hasn't been seen since the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks Invitational back in July. Finished second, beating a neck to New Money Honey. Also finished ahead of Uni, and Uni came back to win very impressively. This horse has a ton of European pedigree and a lot of races over there that would win this race. Off the layoff is a question mark, but the works have been pretty solid. Again, identifying what Chad Brown horse is going to be the winner in here is pretty much the scenario that you have to look at.
Yeah, that is the scenario here, and I think Sister Charlie's that one for Chad that's going to look extremely well off the layoff. As you said, the works are phenomenal, and the graded stakes, 24% winning percentage for Chad in these connections. So this horse raced huge against New Money Honey last time out, closing like a freight train and was wide. I think it's a better trip.
Number 8 is La Coronel. Mark Cassidy, Jose Lascano are going to team up. Of recent, finished second and third, notably that third, only 3/4 of a length to 4-Star Crook and Proctor's Ledge, who we're going to touch upon here in a bit. I thought that was a solid performance. Yet go back to the wins. Did run here at Keeneland, and 3 lifetime starts here at Keeneland, 3 wins, including that QE2 win back in October, taking him wire to wire. Loves the Keeneland turf course, so has an advantage as far as horses coming in for the first time. You have to like that. May have to improve Beyer-wise, and off of the recent efforts, may have to improve, but you do have some horses off the layoff. And again, have to note that the horse is 3 for 3 lifetime at Keeneland.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's attractive here. And this horse has run huge at Keeneland, as you already said, winning at a nice price in a Grade 1 in the fall. You go back to last fall in 2016 fall, won that race as a favorite. Was a lukewarm favorite against New Money Honey, and that was in a Breeders' Cup race. So this horse went to the NYRA circuit, and I thought ran huge, a 4th, and then lost to a neck to Uni. So this horse is. If you like the Sister Charlie, you got to give this horse a little bit of a break. This horse has ran against the same horses, and this horse has raced huge here at Keeneland.
Number 9 is Ultimate Brad Graham Motion. Nick Juarez, 30-1 on the morning line. This horse won 2 back in a Grade 3 event down at Gulfstream Park. Last race, finished 3rd, beating 3/4 to Elsa's World and Dream a While. To me, is going to be one of those pace scenario type horses in here, but has to improve a lot to get a piece in here.
Yeah, this horse does need to improve everything. It's just going to play a little catch me if you can for Graham Motion, trying to see what this horse is capable of. We know this horse can win in a stakes company. Jumping up to the graded stakes might be a little bit much, especially up to a field of this caliber.
Number 10, Proctor's Ledge, Brennan Walsh. Fergal Lynch is going to be aboard 12-1 on the morning line. This horse finished second, closing from off the pace to finish ahead behind 4-Star Crook in that Grade 2 event that we've been touching upon down at Tampa Bay. Thought that was a good performance. Jose Ortiz opts to go and ride elsewhere. Fergal Lynch gets aboard for Brennan Walsh. To me, again, buyers-wise, you have to like that last performance against 4-Star Crook, who's going to be a player in here. Also beat La Coronel, who we just touched upon, is 3 for 3 lifetime and is an absolute win candidate. To me, Proctor's Ledge is going to need a lot to go right and is going to need a quick pace.
Yeah, this horse is going to need a quick pace, and we've seen the horse close decently against some slow paces last time out, and 3 starts back at Saratoga. Ran, I thought, huge that day against beaten Uni at 2-1 price. So this horse seems to do okay at the distance, seems to do okay at a slow pace. I think underneath, probably not a bad idea at a nice price.
The number 11 is 4-Star Crook, going out for Chad Brown, the 3rd horse that he'll have here in the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley. Javier Castellano is going to be aboard, and this horse has really done nothing wrong at the distance. 5 wins and 7 lifetime starts, including one of the blemishes being a second-place performance. Last time out, was able to win that event against a bunch in here. Came from off the pace, got a 97 buyer. A horse that's 10 for 15 as far as wins goes, just loves to win. Getting strong connections, as we already talked about. To me, is going to need pace, just like Proctor's Ledge. Not sure how much pace we're going to get in here, but obviously, the faster, the better for 4-Star Crook.
Yeah, 4-Star Crook is one of those horses that I think I'm going to have to leave out. I'm going to choose some other Chad horses here. I think the outside stall is going to hurt this horse. We saw how well the horse did look from the outside stall at Saratoga, but that was in a Yaddo Stakes that had an okay field, and this horse was on probably a 6 or 7 winning streak. But ever since then, did win this year at 3-1. I think Proctor's Ledge and La Coronel. I would rather use them at the price than if I had the 1 price from the outside.
All right, your choices here in the Grade 1 Jenny Wiley.
This is a really nice, wide-open race here. I picked La Cornell. Just the 3-for-3 here just stands out here for the Cassie Barnes. Cassie needs to get going here a little bit. I think this is the horse to do it. You're going to get a better price, I think, than 9-2. I like number 4 underneath as well. The number 4 horse coming in from Argentina, an Argentina-bred horse. That's Donna Bruja. A horse that I thought the last 3 starts looked really impressive in the Grade 1 events, and in the Grade 3, I thought could have won that race by a lot more. Had an unfamiliar role. No one wanted to break from the game, just wired the field. So I think this horse is going to be a little bit closer and does have a closing kick. And then in the 3rd spot, it's Sister Charlie. This horse is an absolute monster. We saw that last time out. I think the layoff and off the works, this horse is going to run huge, possibly can win this race. And I have Practice Ledge as my long shot.
Yeah, I went 7, 8, 11, and 4 in here. I like Sister Charlie, who you just touched upon, one of the 3 Chad Brown horses in here. I like the European background, ran really well in that Belmont Oaks Invitational, is off of a little bit of a layoff, but I like to see this horse reappear and has some really good works going off the layoff. We'll see if this horse is able to get it done. Underneath, La Cornell, 3-for-3, lifetime here at Keeneland over the turf course. The last couple races have been a little bit subpar, but obviously it doesn't hurt when you get back onto your favorite track at 9-2. I think makes a lot of sense to try to make it 4-for-4 over the Keeneland surface. And then underneath, 4-star Crook, who's just a winning machine, 10-for-15 lifetime, won last time, beat a bunch in here, including Proctor's Ledge and La Cornell. See if the horse can work out a trip under Javier Castellano. And then Donna Bruja. If there's no pace in here, Donna Bruja is going to be tough to beat. And Jose Ortiz sticks, so we'll see if that horse is able to rate really kindly up front and take them wire to wire. Very competitive Grade 1 Jenny Wiley on Saturday. All right, we'll take a look at the Grade 3 Lexington on Saturday as well. It's a 1/16. Going numerical order. The big name in here is going to be My Boy Jack, and we'll touch upon him a little bit later on. He's going to be the number 12 in here. But start out with number 1, Battle at Sea, a winner of 2 in a row, both of them being state-bred races. Broke the maiden 2-back, raced against state-breds and stakes company last time out. Won that race going wire to wire. This horse is just going to play catch me if you can, but there does seem to be some other speeds in here. Big class test.
Huge class test here in the Lexington. So, you know, I think that's a possible play with Kendrick coming in town. That might be a possible for a superfecta, but I think there's just too much better in this. I think the pace is going to be quick, and when the pace is quick, really quick, this horse tends to not hold on. Last time out, great job hanging on at the 1/16th, but I think this is just much better to hang that's going to fight at the end of this race than this horse saw last time.
Number 2 is Telekinesis, Mark Casse, Javier Castellano, 4-1 on the morning line. This horse broke the maiden first time out down at Fairgrounds going 6 furlongs, then got stretched out to 2 turns in that 1 other than optional claimer. Showed speed, ended up fading third, only beating a length and 3/4 to a couple nice horses. I think second time out going 2 turns. This horse is live for Stone Street Stables, and 4-1 is a very nice price.
Yeah, great price here at 4-1, as you said. But, you know, if I had to take a horse on the lead, I think this would be it. I think this horse gets to the lead over Battle at Sea. It's going to be interesting to see. The 1, 2, and the 3, they all want to try to get to the lead. I think 7 Trumpets will kind of accept a stalking role in this situation coming in from the Sunland Derby. So, again, if I had to pick speed in this race, I would pick this horse with Javier at a great price.
Number 3, 7 Trumpets, Dale Romans, Robbie Alvarado, 8-1 on the morning line. This horse most recently finished 4th, beaten 9 lengths to a runaway winner and runaway ghost in that Grade 3 Sunland Derby. Ran a really good race in that Jerome back in January at Aqueduct, finishing 2nd, only beating a half length to Firenze Fire. To me, I have mixed feelings. You have to like the workout on April 9th, though. 1st of 30, bullet work, 46 flat for that 4 furlongs. Again, kind of getting little mixed signals.
Yeah, I'm getting mixed signals as well. I can't play the horse on top, but I think definitely a caliber horse that you could play underneath. That was just, you know, the Sunland Derby was just a weird race, just looking back at it. And this horse is raced against My Boy Jack and Combatant, and I thought that was an absolutely loaded Southwest field. I said that on Racing Across America that weekend. So, and as you said, I think it just needs to revert back to the Jerome race and the optional claiming race, and that work is just really appealing here, and you're getting a nice price. I think interesting play with a jockey who loves the surface underneath.
Number 4, Honor Up, Billy Mott, Jose Ortiz is going to be aboard, 12-1, and this horse is quite interesting. It took 5 starts to break the maiden and just did so last time against State Breds. But if you go back to that two-back race, that's the most notable race that you're going to want to look at. Finished second, being a length and 3/4 to Audible. And we know what Audible has gone on to do. Won the Florida Derby. He's going to be one of the favorites going into the Kentucky Derby. This horse steps up in this Grade 3 event, attracts Jose Ortiz. To me, is a huge value at 12-1. Could potentially be one of those upset players on the improve.
Right, and we see Billy Mott do this all the time. A horse breaks the maiden, enters it in a Grade 3. We saw that same thing with the horse Hofburg that's now taking a lot of Derby points. So I think this is a very interesting play here by Billy Mott. And you get Jose Ortiz up. A nice little New York bet going down the run into Lexington.
Number 5, Magical Meister, going out for James Chapman. John McKee's going to be aboard. 21 on the morning line, 1-2 back in a stakes race at Turfway on the synthetic. Last time out, ran a little bit of a dud against Blended Citizen, who we saw come back and run 5th in the Bluegrass. To me, there's not much dirt for him to go off of. There's a lot of synthetic, and has sort of that hot-cold theory. Either wins the race or doesn't run at all. To me, I'm just going to have to use the wait-and-see approach.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's just a little bit better here, and I think this horse is going to try to win, try to wire the field, but I think there's too much other speed here in this race. For this horse to win this race, I think it's just a tough spot.
Number 6, Gravitos, another interesting horse, 6-1 on the morning line. Joe Rosario. This horse was an upset winner in the Grade 3 Bob Hope against a horse named Moreno, who came back to win a stakes race at Arkansas very impressively. Then validated that performance against Combatant, winning the stakes race down at Remington Park, going the mile distance, stretches out slightly to a mile and a 16th. But we've seen what Moreno was able to do, and also Combatant, who's a serious player in the Arkansas Derby and has run quite well as well. Gravitos at 6-1 is very attractive.
Very attractive price, as you said. The very attractive jockey aboard, who's running the money 9 times in the 11 starts up to this point. So, well, again, I get mixed signals about this horse. This horse is going to run lights out and win at 6-1, and this horse probably won't run at all. But I think it's very interesting. Dropping a pound or two from the last time out. 6-1, as you said, very interesting price.
Number 7, Pony Up, going out for Todd Pletcher. Johnny V is going to be aboard. 6-1 on the morning line. This horse finished second last time to Blended Citizen on the synthetic at Turfway. Again, I touched upon it before. Blended Citizen came back to finish 5th in the Bluegrass. If you go back to the 3-back race in the Kitten's Joy, that race was on the turf, but did face Flameaway, who did finish second in the Bluegrass as well. So this horse has faced the likes of some really good horses. I think getting onto the dirt is a little bit of a question mark for me, but nonetheless seems to be a player.
Yeah, and this horse looked impressive last time out. I agree. I think this horse, you know, the way the horse ran on the turf, he switches to the dirt, comes in 5th by 20, and then loses by a neck. Right in that mile and a 16th area, you know, I'd like to see one more on the dirt before I throw all my eggs in on this horse.
Number 8 is Gracida, going out for Doug O'Neill. Julian LaPerouse is going to be aboard, 12-1 on the morning line. This horse broke the maiden first time out at Del Mar, then faced the likes of Bolt de Oro in that Del Mar Futurity. Didn't do much running then. Then has faced State Breds down in Louisiana the last 2, finishing 3rd and 4th. To me, just needs to improve a lot to be a win candidate. Possible exotics, but the blinkers going on, that may improve the horse.
Yeah, I think the blinkers going on will have O'Neill's winning 15% of his blinkers on. First time blinkers winning 17%. This horse has a ton of speed, but there is a lot of speed on the rail. Going to be interesting to see if this horse breaks and gets to the lead over a couple long shots in the mix, especially from the middle of the stall. I think number 5 is going to try to get to the lead as well.
Number 9, Navy Armed Guard. 21 on the morning line, won last time out, breaking the maiden, but it took 8 starts to break the maiden. Has faced the likes of Flameway and Catholic Boy and Vino Rosso, who did win the Wood Memorial. We were down there on Saturday. Finished 5th, beaten 14 against those 3 big guns. To me, another one that needs to just use the wait-and-see approach. Has been working quite well. Possibility to fill out the supers, but tough to think of win candidate.
Has been working extremely well. I think it's just going to be tough for a maiden, just breaking the maiden going up to this Grade 3 event, with the horse trying to get some last-minute Derby points.
Number 10, Zanesville, Tom Amos, James Graham, 20-1 on the morning line. 1-1 other than allowance race. 2 back at Delta Downs. Then raced on the synthetic last time against Blended Citizen, Pony Up, and Arawak. Finished 4th, beaten 2 1/4. Needs a lot of speed in here. Is going to be coming from off the pace. Possible candidate again for supers, but tough to believe that this horse is going to be able to win.
Yeah, this horse really improved the buyers and still ran 4th last time in a Grade 3, and then he's stepping up to this is a very competitive Grade 3 event than what this horse saw last time out. And the buyers did improve. This horse's buyers could improve again and still run that 4th or 5th by 3.5. But still, I can't see this horse running a big race. A lot's got to go right.
Number 11 is Arched Feather. 21 on the morning line, broke the maiden, 3 back, then raced in Stakes Company the last 2, both of them being poor efforts. Really tough to think that this horse is going to be able to improve that much to win. But the workouts have been pretty sharp here at Keeneland, including that last one on April 9th, first of 24. Possibility, again, you can kind of say that for a lot of these in here to kind of fill out the tries and supers.
I think there's a little bit. I think you're going to get a nice price underneath for any of these horses, and I think there's just a little bit better towards the inside of the rail with 7 Trumpets or Battle at Sea or Telekinesis. So, I think this horse is just going to try to break a little bit well, with My Boy Jack wanting nothing to do with the lead. So this horse might try to take a stalking role, may look like it's going to make a little bit of a run, but I think there's just a little bit better value.
Number 12, My Boy Jack. Keith DeSormo, Kent DeSormo is going to be aboard. 5-2, morning line favorite. And to me, the 12 post would be something that you didn't want, but the fact that My Boy Jack was going to fall back anyway, the 12 post shouldn't be a concern. This horse is the most notable name in here. Won the Southwest very impressively. That was on a muddy going. Did ride the inside rail track bias that day, beat Combatant and Sporting Chance. Last time out, made a huge move around the far turn in the Louisiana Derby, then kind of flattened out a little bit against Noble Indy and Lone Sailor. To me, needs a lot of pace in there. There's the potential of some horses that are a little bit light on experience, stepping up off their maiden victories where the pace could be fast. Most experienced horse in here and most logical horse is number 12, My Boy Jack.
Yeah, this is the most logical horse. The horse was 7 wide last time and still ran huge against Noble Indy. And so this horse, I think the connections to DeSormo's, they know this horse can't be 12 wide again. This horse is going to take a nice roll in behind and then make its move late, as it always does. Needs the points to get into the Derby. So My Boy Jack, 5-2, I think that's a very fair price.
Yeah, it's a very question-filled race. Who do you like here in the Grade 3 Lexington?
My Boy Jack, I think they just want to enter this horse in the Derby, the closing speed, I think. Going to be a lot of speed. I think it's going to be quick and then slow down. That's fine. We've seen My Boy Jack run huge in those types of races. I think Honor Up, 12-1, the number 4 horse for Billy Mott. Billy Mott enters these horses in these types of situations. They run huge. We just saw that in the Florida Derby. Jose Ortiz aboard, you're getting a great price as well. I think a long shot in this race is number 8 for Doug O'Neill. They're throwing the blinkers on with Julian Leparoux on, who loves the surface. And then I think 7 Trumpets is an okay price at 8-1 to use underneath as well. The horse has raced okay against much better. The Southern Derby, I'm really willing to throw out. That was such an iffy race.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have different opinions in here. I like number 2, Telekinesis. Winner first time out down at Fairgrounds, breaking the maiden very impressively. Stretched out to 2 turns last time out. I just think got a little bit tired that day, needed the education of going 2 turns, only finished 3rd, beating a length in 3/4. So I think it can improve in here. It's going to be sitting a stalking trip. You get Marquez and Javier to team up for Stone Street, and I think it has a huge shot in here to kind of sit off the pace and makes one big move to get him at the top of the stretch. And then also underneath, number 6, Gravitos. I like this horse. Faced the likes of Combatant and Moreno, I already talked about. It's going to be one of those horses that's poorly placed. Mile and 16th is a question mark, but this horse was razor sharp in the workouts. Off this layoff have been really good. I think at 6-1 with Joao aboard, who's been rock solid down at Keeneland so far. He's a horse to use. My Boy Jack underneath, who we already talked about, the most logical horse, the number 12. And then my long shot will be number 4, who you talked about, the Billy Mott horse. Coming off that state-bred maiden victory at Aqueduct, faced the likes of Audible, finished 2nd, only beating a length in 3/4. We saw what Audible's been able to do. I think that horse is very live with Jose Ortiz aboard at 12-1 on the morning line. All right, that's going to lead us to our final break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the big one on Saturday, the Arkansas Derby.
Want more rewards? How about this? During the month of February, all Capital Bets account holders earn an additional 2% cash back when wagering on Aqueduct or Gulfstream Park. Capital Bets account holders already earn the best cash rewards in New York State, but now's your chance to get back even more. No points, no gift cards, actual cash from Capital OTB. Now that's more rewards.
Welcome back to the Capital OTB Stakes Preview. We're through 4 of the 5 that we're going to talk about. We're up to the big one, the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby at Oaklawn, mile and 1/8 event. The final big Derby prep going in to the Kentucky Derby. A lot of questions to be answered with a couple different horses in here, and we'll start out in numerical order with number 1, Beautiful Shot, Keith DeSormo. 30-1 on the morning line. This horse won the first 2 career starts, including the stakes victory at Santa Anita back in October of 2017. Of recent, though, did race in the Grade 3 Gotham against Enticed, an old-time arrival. Didn't do much running that day. 8th, beaten 29. To me, is going to have to wake up seriously back to those career 2-for-2 lifetime starts.
Yeah, this horse really does need to go back to that 2-for-2 lifetime starts, winning a stakes race, and then went to the Bob Hope. Really didn't do any running at all, especially last time out in the Gotham. So this horse might be a little bit over its head in this situation.
Number 2 is Machismo. 21 on the morning line. You're going to get Scott Spieth aboard, a winner at 3 back to break the maiden very impressively by 11.5. Got an 85 buyer. Then raced last weekend in the Grade 2 Bluegrass. Interesting to see this horse entered in here. Finished 12th, beaten 20 lengths. Tried to show a little bit of speed, but didn't break well. I think you're going to see this horse be much more forwardly placed than in the Bluegrass. And maybe with a different race dynamics, you can see this horse run pretty big.
Yeah, and this horse lost a shoe last time, or a couple shoes in that Bluegrass. But, that's a lot to ask for a horse going from the Bluegrass, and then 6 days later you're going to run in the Arkansas Derby against a field with a lot of other speed here. So you get Scott Spieth back on. That's Luch's go-to guy at jockey, and they've had some success together. But let's see if this horse can play a little rabbit catch me if you can. And this horse has done that, breaking the maiden, sprinting, now making the third start, stretching out.
Number 3, tenfold, Steve Asmussen. Victor Espinoza is going to be aboard. And this horse is quite interesting. 2-for-2 lifetime. Broke the maiden very impressively by 5 3/4. Got up to win a 1 under then optional claimer last time against a very nice horse in Navistar, and also Plainsman, who's going to be in this field as well. We'll touch upon it a little bit later. This horse, buyers-wise, makes a lot of sense. Just a touch below the tops in here, but if this horse is able to improve third start out, could definitely improve. And out of Curlin, you'd think this horse is going to be able to get the mile and 1/8.
Yeah, I think this horse is really, really sneaky, and this horse can make a big impact. I have this horse right into my mix. We'll say the picks later. But this horse 2-for-2 at Oaklawn, stepping up, I don't think will be a problem. This horse stretching out, or has already ran the mile to 16, so we know this horse can go the route distance. So the distance here from Victor Espinoza coming into town, I think this is a very sneaky horse.
Number 4 is Dream Baby Dream, Steve Asmussen, another Steve Asmussen trainee. Luis Contreras is going to be aboard. Hasn't won in 5 starts, but did finish second, beaten 2 3/4 to Runaway Ghost at big odds that day. Off that second place performance in that Grade 3 event. Has already got the mile and 1/8 distance. Is going to need some speed. There looks to be some speed in here. And if there's a lot of it, Dream Baby Dream could be running late.
Yeah, this horse might make a little bit of a break, and we saw that in the Sunland Derby. I already said how weird of a race that was. Horse is 0-for-3 at Oaklawn, but it's running the money 3 times, so this is definitely a horse that you should use, I think, in your exotics and triples.
On to the big 2 names that are going to be here. That's number 5, Salamini, Bob Baffert, Flavien Prat. Finished second last time, beaten 3.5 lengths to Magnum Moon, who we're going to touch upon as the morning line favorite here in the Arkansas Derby. I didn't think that was a bad effort. When Flavien kind of chirped to the horse, got stuck behind fading horses in front of him, then tried to angle out, and Magnum Moon was already full of run at that point. So pretty much Magnum Moon got the jump on the horse. I think second start off the layoff, you've already seen that this horse has been able to run with the likes of very good horses, including Good Magic and Bolt de Oro. I think this horse is a serious win candidate for Zayat Stables.
Yeah, and this horse, as you said, a serious win candidate for Flavien, Bob, and Zayat. This horse has already made almost $700,000 off that $270,000 purchase tag. This horse last time out did nothing wrong at all. This horse might repeat that effort against Magnum Moon. Had this horse into last week in the Wood, they scratched. They're going in this situation. Definitely, Bob thinks is ready for this.
All right, on to number 6 in here. That's Magnum Moon. Todd Pletcher, Louise Size is going to be aboard. 8-5 morning line favorite, 3-for-3 lifetime, including that Grade 2 event last time out. Very impressive, beating Salamini and Combatant. Combatant we'll talk about a little bit later on. Again, nothing wrong. Seems to be improving. That 97 buyer. Workouts have been strong. A lot to like with Magnum Moon.
Yeah, Magnum Moon, I think, is definitely the horse to be. The odds will kind of reflect that. This horse 1-for-1 here, 3-for-3 lifetime. Looked really impressive in the Rebel. At a nice price, beating Combatant and Salamini.
Plainsman is the number 7 horse, 30-1 on the morning line. A winner, 4 back to break the maiden. Has been facing one other than optional claiming company the last 2, including a 3rd place finish to Tenfold, who we already touched upon in his 2-for-2 lifetime. Plainsman, to me, just seems a touch below. Possibility to fill out the exotics, though.
Yeah, I could see where you get that from. Possibility to fill out the exotics. This horse is racing against familiar company, just stepping up. I think it's just a little too much, but it's too much on the line here for the most of these horses.
Number 8's Quipped, 9-2 on the morning line. The serious third choice candidate in here with Florent Giroux aboard. Winner of 3 of 4 lifetime starts, including the upset victory in the Grade 2 Tampa Bay Derby at 19-1. Beat the likes of Flame Away, who we saw come back and run second in the Bluegrass. Also beat a nice horse in World of Trouble. I know you're high on. To me, if this horse can repeat the performance, absolute player. To me, though, I don't like when you kind of this horse was pointing to the Bluegrass and then got scratched out and pointed to a different direction. I like when horses kind of stick to, and trainers kind of stick to the plan. To me, this was like a second sort of approach in here, and I'm not sure what to do with this horse.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this horse either, and I think just too much other speed. No one's going to let this horse wire the field again. There's so much speed in this race. Yeah, with Florent Giroux, you always have a shot here, and I like the WinStar. They've been killing it. They just won again last week. So, again, I agree. I think we had a better shot last week in the Bluegrass. Just too much other speed here for me to take on top. No one's going to let this horse wire the field again.
Number 9 is Combatant. Another Steve Asmussen trainee, Ricardo Santana Jr. is going to be aboard. This horse has been in the money 5 of 6 lifetime starts, but the problem is only has 1 win, and that was the maiden special weight victory back in Churchill. Has faced the likes of Magna Moon and Salamini in here, finished third, beaten 3.5. To me, is going to need some speed. You already touched upon it. The race looks to be very fast. If for some reason the favorites and a bunch of others in here get tired late, this horse may relish a 1 1/8.
Yeah, I like this horse, and I think from the outside pose, this horse just wants nothing to do with the lead. You let the other horses do the lead, and this horse is going to come closing late with a hot jockey and a red-hot trainer down in Oakland.
All right, pick time here in the Grade 1 Arkansas.
I think it's going to be tough to beat Magna Moon just from what we saw last time out. I had Magna Moon on top. I think tenfold to 3 horses, very interesting. Victor Espinoza stepping up with Steve Asmussen for Winchell. Thoroughbreds, great team there, Asmussen and Winchell. Third spot, I think Quip hangs on, but it's an ugly third. I think Combatant runs huge here as well. That's a horse I think I have in my long shot, possibly to complete even exactas and trifectas.
Yeah, I'm going to try to beat Magna Moon. It wouldn't be a shock to see the horse go 4 for 4 and go in as one of the favorites into the Derby. But I like Salamini's performance last time. I know did lose to Magna Moon last time out, but I think with a better chip could be ready second off the bench for Bob Baffert in here. So I have the 5, Salamini on top. Underneath, I'll look towards the number 3 horse, and that's tenfold. I like the 2 for 2 lifetime. I think this horse is coming in very sharp for Steve Asmussen. Does have both races over the Oaklawn surface, so that's a plus. And Otta Curlin, I think, will handle the 1 1/8. To me, may have to sit a trip and not go to the lead in here. There seems to be a lot of other speed in here, so hoping that tenfold at a big price can sit just off the pace and make one big move in here. And then underneath, number 6. Magna Moon makes a lot of sense where you touched upon. Wouldn't be shocked to see this horse win 3 for 3 lifetime, but I think got the best of it last time out and may not get the same type of race dynamics in here. And then Combatant at 6-1 makes a lot of sense to kind of round out exactas and tries in here. Has 1 win in 6 lifetime starts, but loves to run in the money and is getting better and better, and will like this 1 1/8 distance. So very competitive race. A lot of questions to be answered here in the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby. That's going to wrap things up for us here on the Capital OTB Stakes preview for this upcoming weekend. Good luck in Friday's action as we have 2 Grade 1 events, including the Apple Blossom and the Maker's Mile. Also on Saturday, we're going to have tons of graded stakes at Keeneland, which we touched upon 2 of them, and also the big day down at Oaklawn with the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby, which we just talked about. Good luck on both those days, and also we'll be back next week to talk about some more. Take care.